Hey y'all, hey y'all! Walter's doing the happy hands dance over there. Today is Thursday, September 22nd. This is your favorite hour of the day, possibly of the week, maybe even the year. Depends on what your day's looking like. You're
It'll
here
be
with
really boring.
Sandra. It must be, but at least they have a splash of comedy mixed in with some facts and a little ammunition to fight the terrorists known as the Marxist, leftist, Democrat, racist brigade.
Lest you repeat yourself, but go
Please
ahead.
don't make me say that twice. You are here, as you always are, on TexasFullyLoaded.com, TECNTV.com, Facebook.com. You might
You
be
are here.
watching us on Twitter. Hi there. You might be watching us on Twitter. However you watch us, thank you for joining us. We couldn't be on the air without you. We appreciate you making us the number one show week after week here on TECNTV.com. Guys, how has your
Good stuff.
week been? I've missed you guys. It was a weird week.
Go ahead, Walter. You go first since you were breaking up so bad last time. Sandra and I got to talk the whole last show. It was kind of nice actually, but go ahead, Walter. Now your mic's I got you. He muted
He's
his mic being
funny.
funny.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey
Oh my
y'all!
gosh. Why did you let him talk?
That's
I don't know.
right. That's the Bacon Master coming to you loud and proud from the Silver Studios in East Montgomery County, where you can trade your teeth in for a new buggy. Anyway, like I said, it's been fun traveling the state of Texas. We have been to Austin. We have been to the Boda. We have come back to Houston. And now we have Democrats contacting us saying, where did we go wrong? What is missing? And I'm loving it because people are finally opening up their eyes to what we've been seeing. Anyway, I just wanted to say hola, give it over to John so we can start our mantra where we go international, national, Texas, and we bring it home to the bacon. Yeah. I
Oh
sang a
God,
song
please
out of
don't
that because
ever
she's
say
not
those.
even.
You know what, John? Make it
She
stop.
wasn't even looking because her eyeballs were down the whole time. If she would have
Just,
seen
I
what I
saw
was
it. I
doing.
saw it, dude. You showed
I
it. It was the
probably.
gun.
Is it good that I didn't see? Oh God.
Oh, that's right.
I'm glad I
You
had
must
to
have left
make
it in your other
our
shirt.
viewership relive that. I apologize to
Hey,
all of
I
you
can
out
start the
there.
ribble and make the dribble, so that's how we roll it.
Well, hey,
Alex,
Sandra,
go
I've
get
been
the whiskey.
Sandra, I've been posting some videos of me playing guitar and singing, and I got to say, some of the compliments I've been getting is like, John, of all the guitar players out there, you're not one of them,
You
and so
should
that's
do something
okay.
else.
Yeah, yeah. Sell your guitar if you want to make some money, but
Like
not
it's
my
funny.
thing. But I'm trying to learn how to play guitar.
It's funny that you say
Actually,
that. So my oldest was a really good trumpet player when he was playing and then he quit playing. But then Austin decided that he was going to play the cornet and he thought that he was
Mhm.
going to be just as good as his big brother and that was not the case at all. But because we are encouraging parents, we encouraged him to practice and all of that jazz. Well, then at the end of the year, he said, "I'm not going to do this next year." And I literally said, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." And he just looked at me and goes, "Mom!" And I started laughing. I said, "I'm sorry, was that out loud?" Also, I will encourage you while you're doing it, but I was not gonna. I'm not sad that you don't want to do it again.
again, to
Well,
help in
well,
emotionally
look,
battering your children, call Sandra. Sandra for Texas. She can help you demean
yeah,
your children to the point where, yes, they will never pick up the
mother of
cornet
the
again.
year for sure.
Mother of the
But
year.
I'm trying to get
Mother.
to the point. I'm trying to get to the point where I can play a full gig on acoustic guitar because my band drives me insane. If you ever had to deal with a band, first of all, they're
Mhm.
musicians.
It's the
That's
first
enough of a
problem.
problem as it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, and everybody's got their creative BS going, and they're moody, and it's just and there's five of us in the band, so it's always a challenge, So I would like to just show up, and if I have musical problems, it would only be my fault, right? So we'll see how that goes. Working on it. But let's
Love
let's
it.
get started here. Let's jump right in. Here on Texas Fully Loaded, I'm John Boucher. I'm coming to you from my bunker here in Montgomery County, the reddest county in the nation, or used to be. We'll see if it still is. And today, as I always like to do on Texas Fully Loaded, is I like to give you some information that you can use. Try and give a little different perspective. Mainstream media, we all know, can't be trusted.
No.
consumer confidence in them. I saw Don Lemon got demoted all the way down to a morning show now. So I guess he's doing some sock puppet show or some BS or whatever, and he thinks it's a promotion. The only reason they didn't fire that guy is, well, of all the protected classes, he's in all of them,
I was getting
and
ready
so
to say.
yeah. So that's the only reason he wasn't fired like the rest of these idiots. But so he's got his little morning show now that nobody watches, and that's good because nobody watched him at night anyway. And so we're trying to do something for you guys, give you substantive news and information, and some critical thinking along with it to kind of see where things are going. So let's get started. Mexico just suffered a 6.8 magnitude earthquake. Sandra, you got a picture of that?
I
Two
do.
people died. 2 people died in that earthquake. And I have a theory as to why more didn't die, because I thought it was a typo at first when you have an earthquake of that magnitude, and that's the people leaving Mexico. So I figure maybe nobody was home when the earthquake went off. That's why only 2 people died. So we got most of them streaming across the border.
I understand they're
You
heading
know,
to Martha's
Actually,
Vineyard.
They
yeah,
probably thought it was
apparently.
gunfire. That was
No,
the mortars hitting
no.
the ground. They didn't realize it was an earthquake.
So in the Ukraine, Democrats are trying to leverage the war in Ukraine for the midterm elections. How are they doing that? Well, they're telling people if the Republicans take charge, then the Ukraine war is going to be defunded. Well, let's hope so. So they're trying to do that. So between them doing that and Lindsey Graham coming out and helping them, I don't know if they're going to impact the midterm elections, but they're pulling out all the stops for sure. U.S. faces an unprecedented nuclear threat from China and Russia. Who's been talking about that for about a year, Sandra? We've
Texas
been,
fully loaded.
trying. We saw this before they announced this union, this allied thing they're working on. We've been talking about that for a long time. And in the middle of all this, the NATO Secretary General comes out and says, well, you know what? If they did start a nuclear conflict, then if Russia did do that, then the West would win. Well, that's what you want to do. Poke the Russian bear, because these are not proud people, and we're not in any position to be trying to intimidate anyone right now with President Salad Bar in the office. So let's not do that. The UK Central Bank just raised their interest rates 2.25%, making their interest rates the highest since 2008. The United States has also just raised theirs by 0.75%. So in an economy that's already lagging, sandbagging it with increasing interest rates, it's almost like they're trying to make businesses fail. You see Germany just nationalized their biggest gas importer, Uniper, to avert a total collapse of their energy sector. So, if you follow this, Sandra, it's always the same thing with these socialist kind of countries, these globalists, is they sandbag the private market through regulations and fees. Meanwhile, they make it harder on the consumers. And then when the inevitable business, the business model can't survive in that business environment created by the government, then the government runs in and takes over and pretends like they're saving things. Now, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do remember, several years ago, I was watching C-SPAN, and I'm watching them haul in the automotive industry people here in the United States, and they even did it with the airline people at some point, where these government bureaucrats sit in front of them and question them about how they're running their business. And I got to tell you, it takes some real brass for a group of people that have run this country $30 trillion in debt to pull in these industry leaders and question their business acumen. That really took some brass, but they do it all the time. These people couldn't lead a group in silent prayer, but they're calling these people in to question them about how they're running their businesses. And, it's hard to run a business when the government is regulating you like this, enforcing Obamacare on you, making you unionize, just laying regulation after regulation, import taxes, just really sandbagging you every step of the way. So
I think that the best response for these businesses, John, is it's going to seem a little infantile, but it'll work. Are you ready? Honey, I've been running this business just fine without you up in it. That's all they need to say, and then they'll go away because they'll realize then it is going to be a Karen situation, and they don't want to be involved.
Well, they
So
don't have
are you
that sort
saying
of
they're
self-awareness at all. Go ahead.
are they sandbagging or teabagging it? Because I'm feeling like we're getting the raw end of this whole deal anyway. While America,
Well, maybe
I'm
look,
leaving
my
that
feeling
whole
is my feeling is maybe they were afraid to speak up because they thought Jerry Nadler might eat them. Anyway, Texas.
The troll
You
under
know,
the
even though we're
bridge.
being invaded from the south, we apparently have a labor shortage. Go figure that out. These two things don't operate in the same space. All of Mexico's leaving, coming here, and we can't get people to work, you know, work our farms and so forth. That just doesn't make any sense. Apparently, everybody that's streaming across the border has a pocket full of fentanyl. Because we have a big fentanyl crisis here in Texas right now. It's deadly. It's getting worse every day. With the porous border that we have, it's not getting any better. So Greg Abbott, in typical wonderful leadership quality, they asked him, they said, what are we doing about this? He goes, well, I told the Texas Department of Transportation that they need to try harder. Department of Public Safety, they need to work harder. They need to double their efforts, try harder. So there's your leadership from the governor of Texas. We should shut down the damn border, defy the federals to come in here and do something, the federal government to do something about it and make a difference. But we won't, and we're not doing that. So until we do that, I'm in favor of foisting these people on their own petard, continue to send them to the sanctuary cities, overload the sanctuary cities, and everybody gets what they want. We don't have to pay for them here. The illegals get to go to the sanctuary city. The sanctuary city gets to capitalize on their virtue signaling. Everybody's happy. So let's do that.
You know what I
That's all
don't
I got.
understand is why wouldn't they let? So most of these sanctuary cities are actually big tourist attraction cities like Martha's Vineyard, Washington, D.C. And all of these people have pockets full of money that the government and NGOs are giving them. So why in the world wouldn't they want them there? Look, I'm a problem solver. Let's solve some problems. Recirculate that
And
money,
now,
honey.
and now, for the entrepreneur moment of the week, I would like to announce the idea for the next T-shirt maker. All you've got to do is go pass out to a bunch of. So anyway, all you've got to do is go pass out T-shirts, custom-made T-shirts. I want anyone in America that's watching right now to go have a bunch of T-shirts made up, and all it's got to say is, "I went to Martha's Vineyard, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt and $100."
100 bucks.
Bam! There you go.
Okay, so I need to talk to you guys about some late breaking news. Are you ready for this? This literally
Go
just
ahead.
popped up from Newsmax. World War III has begun, and the Pope thinks that Putin is ill.
Well, if you're sick and you're Putin, you're darn tootin'.
Now, I also have some other late breaking news. I don't know if we want to get into this yet or if we're still,
Dig
talking
in
about
deep,
things. Well,
especially if it's 3 feet.
here's the deal. So, right as we were, right, like minutes before we came on the air, Fox News came to
Breaking
me
news!
with
Breaking
breaking
news!
news.
Fox
And
News!
I'm
Breaking
all
news!
about Fox News and their breaking news because
Listen,
that's who
listen,
patriots are supposed to
listen.
trust. You want to know
America,
what the
wake
breaking
up.
news was? Drew Barrymore is okay with not having sex for years. Now, this is not a protest of, abortion, anything. This is not some women's rights thing. This is just her coming out with a statement saying that she's okay with not having sex for several years, if need be, because it's not easy dating when you have kids. And
Have you
I
seen
feel
her
like
lately?
that was the most important piece of news that Fox News could have come to me with breaking news. I,
You know
I
what,
feel so informed and relieved.
Sandra?
Have you seen
Sandra,
Drew Barrymore
this is.
lately? She better be okay with not having sex for the next few years.
She looked like
Right.
ET all of a sudden. Listen.
Full
I
circle.
really think this might be something. This is actually a publicity stunt. I think she's going to have 51st Dates Part 2 coming out now. And it's going to
Yeah?
be a reality TV show of the books that she writes about sexuality and children in the schools. I mean, don't you think that they're going to have a whirlwind tour across America with that?
You know what? Walter, now that you've put that in some perspective, I think it is breaking news because now we know to be on the lookout.
Things your kindergartners should have known about.
Well, she used to be pretty hot. I mean, look, I got to tell you, there's a lot of these liberal women that, as a younger man, I used to look at them and think, man, these are good looking women. What's the
Till they
Judd
open their
chick?
mouths.
Judd.
I never
Judd.
said
What's her
that.
first name?
Ashley
Winona
Judd?
Judd? Ashley, no.
No,
Ashley
not Winona.
Judd.
Ashley Judd. I used
It
to
was
think, man, that's
Ashley.
an attractive woman. But then she spoke. So there's a lot
So
of that.
I'm not going to make. I'm not going to make the Leave It to Beaver Cleaver comments that are coming out of my 1950s head right now. So we'll leave that at the door.
Yeah, let's not do that, Walter. Let's
Hmm.
not descend the show again. We try and prop it up, and Walter just yanks it right back down every time. Right in the gutter, Walter. Nobody thought it was
Why are
going to
you
be me.
turning bright red, Walt? I don't understand. Oh, more breaking news. UISD wants you to know that they're going to be bringing more COVID vaccines, so they're going to have a vaccine clinic because they want to poison your children. Thanks, UISD, for forcing vaccines down our kids' throats.
Hey, Walter, when is the
It's
Matt
like
Walsh
Pee Wee
event?
Herman's pants.
When's
Oh,
the Matt
yeah.
Walsh event?
We forgot to ask you about that.
So, so right now the Matt Walsh event has been, from what I understand, is canceled for right now because it's
Shut the
campaign
front door.
season. I'm a little no. Here's the deal. So I'm a little disappointed in the board because they were invited by a politician to sit at a table of 10 at his fundraiser, and these are college kids that obviously have no money. When they have the ability to bring Matt Walsh here, and apparently um, Matt Walsh can be a fundraiser, but they'd rather do it in November after the election. I did have to tell the
Oh,
folks of the club that that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but that's okay because there's some issues going on there. But these are a real good conservative group of college kids on a very liberal campus, and you know what? More power to them. If Matt Walsh will still be a thing, because we don't know what's going to happen November the 8th. And I said, listen, if November the 8th goes sideways, people are going to care less about going out to see Matt Walsh because we're going to be trying to figure out what the heck's going on in January the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th, or whenever we have the riots at the Capitol again. That's called people being sworn back in. But anyway, um, they're looking at possibly November, and it's actually reaching out and it's looking at what how the youth look at. I talked to several of these guys and I said, listen, you guys got to be cutting edge. Y'all want to be conservatives. You can't work yesterday, John. It's like you want to sit around on Facebook and play your guitar, and we all know for a fact that while you're sitting on Facebook playing your guitar, saying, "Hey, look at me," you've got full text messages coming in going, "The party is melting." So the key is, as activists, we get we get the text messages. I talk to people all over the country, from Minnesota to California to Florida to Virginia to heck, Martha's Vineyard of all places, Maine and Texas. The whole, I got people down in Guatemala calling me, and they're like, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And it's like, "Hey, folks, stop asking what, and get off your butts and get out there and just get it done and get it done in a uniform fashion." That's why I'm working with. If you'll notice, the Harris County Republican Party has completely and totally just fallen off their kilter. Kevin McCarthy moved in with a bunch of other local Congress members, and have totally, they're totally making it to where the Democrats can have the seats that they want as long as the Republicans get a couple of small seats they want. People forget that when we play football, um, you play to win. Whenever we go to war, you play to win. These guys here, they think it's still 1980 all over again, and that Ronald Reagan's the president. And it's like, nah, this is like the second coming of Jimmy Carter, except this time with demons on his shoulder. And we're sitting here, and people are like, "You shouldn't be talking about the president like that." Well, you know what? The president. Uh, we watched the sheriff in Bear County, Javier Salazar. Know the guy personally. Been to several of his events on human trafficking. He wants to investigate Ron DeSantis when he personally has had 128,000 children come through his county and can't account for any of them. Even the federal government's website says where are the children. And this guy wants to investigate Ron DeSantis for giving people a break in a hotel room and a bus ride to Martha's Vineyard so they could get a stupid T-shirt that says all I got was the stupid T-shirt when I got to Martha's Vineyard at $100. That's literally it. We're working on a cycle of morons. So back to the Matt Walsh thing. What is a woman? Well, all I can tell you is the people wearing the panties in the White House and in Congress, no matter what's enveloped in those
in
panties,
between.
those are the people that, yeah, those
I
are
don't
the
even want to think
people
about that,
that are
Walter.
screwing the country right now. Yeah, exactly. Well,
Sandra,
think
it looked
about
like you
Jerry
wanted to jump
Nadler.
in, so I'm gonna wait till Sandra jumps in on this because she's been like a double Dutch jump rope person trying to get in.
Yeah,
So go ahead,
think
Sandra.
think about
Okay.
think
She's
about
thinking back
Jerry
to her
Nadler.
football days.
This is the picture I want to leave Americans with
Oh
right now
no.
before Sandra jumps in. I want you to think about Lindsey Graham
Oh,
petting
please
his
no.
kitty, saying, "Here, here, kitty, kitty," and he says, "I'm going to reach out to the other side." And Lindsey Graham and Jerry Nadler both are wearing their underwear, saying, "Hey, let's have a
I don't
kumbaya
want to think
moment."
about that.
I don't want to
Oh,
talk about Lindsey Graham and his ladybugs. Now stop. Okay, so what I was gonna say. Gross. Y'all are terrible. Okay, where do I begin? Dang it, Walter, and
you
your
want me to
stupid
jump in
Lindsey
real
Graham.
quick,
Yeah,
Sandra, while
jump
you
in.
think?
Jump in, because now I'm
Okay,
thinking about
Matt
Lindsey
Walsh.
Graham's ladybug. Thank you.
I
Okay.
want to tell you. Look, I used to watch Matt Walsh when he was just shooting videos in his car, and he was hilarious back then. And now he's moved to Tennessee. He's in Nashville, and one of the things he took on was in his neighborhood. Walter talking about being an activist. One of the things that he took on and is making a difference is Vanderbilt Hospital there has a transgender health clinic going on where they help transition children. So they drug and mutilate children there. He exposed this. Okay, they had a website set up for this. There was people. There was a doctor, the head of the clinical division there, or whatever, who gave a speech. It was online and said, if you have a conscientious objection to what we're doing here, then there will be consequences. In other words, you will fall in line and drug and mutilate these kids because there's a lot of money in it. They talked about phalloplasty, the construction of a male organ on these females, resulting in $100,000 of revenue for the hospital, 20,000 for the mastectomies, and all these other things that they do that they create dependency of these children for life on of these doctors when they alter them before their brain is even formed properly. So he took on Vanderbilt Hospital for that. In response, they're trying to have him arrested. Okay, not only are they trying to have him arrested, but then they went on and they deleted their entire website about their transgender. They also had a trans buddy program. So you have a confused kid that the parents are stupid and are putting them through this. They take one of these nut jobs and partner them with the kid to go to the visits to affirm them in their decision making process. Okay, so Matt Walsh is a warrior. Okay, he is awesome. He's just doing amazing stuff. I see God using him in this way. So I say that to all you guys to kind of piggyback on what Walter said. Stop complaining about what's going on and get your hands dirty. Look for opportunities in your neighborhood to do something. That's what we're doing. That's what Texas Fully Loaded is all about. That's why we got here. That's why we are here. So go ahead, Sandra. You
That's why
should be
we're
back.
hashtag we the people work. Okay. So the whole thing with Matt Walsh event getting postponed, like, so that we can focus on the elections. Do you know the best way to focus on the elections is to point out the stupidity of the other party? And that's exactly what Matt Walsh is doing. Hello? Hey, I got a great idea. Let's find a way that we can bring people in and educate them and then do it after they voted so that we can complain that we didn't get the results that we wanted in November. This is the problem with Republicans. We're stupid. That's why I don't want to call myself a Republican anymore. I can't.
Walsh talked about
Alex
Behar
just yelled,
County.
Democrat.
Matt Walsh just talked about Behar County and the sheriff there with DeSantis, and he covered the press conference where the sheriff came out and basically, he didn't say we're investigating because we believe this crime is committed. He was just saying, well, we're launching an investigation because we think some things might have happened. Well, yeah, that's what you want your sheriff to do. This moron. But Matt Walsh is funny because he was pronouncing it Bexar County, and he kept pronouncing it Bexar County, and then he started getting emails saying, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's Behar County. And Matt Walsh, I love him in typical Matt Walsh fashion. He goes, no, you're wrong. I know you live there, but you've been pronouncing it the wrong way the whole time. The English language has rules. You can't just you can't just violate the rules at your own discretion. There's no place on the planet where X is silent, okay, or there's an A. It's Bexar County.
Do you know
I'm sorry to tell you, but you live in Bexar County.
Do you know the story of that?
No.
So Mr. Bear, Bear, was illiterate and couldn't spell, and so he signed an X on his name, and somebody came in and filled in the Bear, and that's the long Texas tale of that one.
I doubt that's true, but okay, let's run with that.
No, that's what they say. That's a real thing that they tell
say.
people in Bexar County.
Yeah, that's
These are
what
the
they say. They
same
also said
people.
if you made those faces, your face will stick like that. A lot of things get said, Sandra.
Well,
Look at
these are
that.
the
Look at
same
Walter.
people. These are the these are the
Things
same
get said.
people that fought with us at the Alamo that actually have the bloodline that goes back to the starting of foundation of Texas days.
Well, you know,
Two
I
of my
always
people,
start off my speeches
seventeen
whenever I get
seventeen
in
eighty
front of
five.
people,
I'm a descendant of Mexico.
whenever I get in front of groups, and if it's the right setting, I always talk about this. And I'll ask you guys, you know who Charles Despalier was? Do either of you know who Charles
Uh-uh.
Despalier was? Well, in
No.
Texas, y'all probably call him Charlie Despalier because y'all screw up everything. But
Despalier.
Charles Despalier was a 20-something-year-old guy from the New Orleans area, from Louisiana, who made the trek in February of 1836 to the Alamo, where he died with a group of Louisianians. And he had left the Alamo as a courier and returned. And then he went out again when the Mexican army had moved their fortifications within range of the Alamo. He went out at night and burned them all down. I mean, this dude was a badass. He was. And then he returned to the Alamo again, and he ended up perishing in the battle to save the Alamo. So it always rubs me a little bit the wrong way when people tell me, Sandra, and you being from Virginia, you probably hear this too. Let Texans run Texas. You know, imagine if the Tennesseans in the Alamo, led by Crockett, would have said, "Hey, we're going to let you Texans run Texas." Or if
You know,
William Barrett Travis, who was from South Carolina, said, "Hey, I'm going to let you Texans handle this," and the Louisianians and all those people would have left, it would have been a lot shorter affair
you
than
know what my
13 days.
you know what my favorite thing to tell people or remind people is, John?
Go ahead.
So
Sam
everyone
Houston gets
wants,
spelled.
you know what, you're
I
lucky
did,
we're on the air. So one of my favorite things to tell people, so the very first time I came to the Alamo, very first time I went, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to their little, history, they're playing everything out and whatever. And he made the statement about how Sam Houston was born in Virginia. Then he goes on further and talks about how, Sam Houston, came through and that, San Jacinto and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Y'all know Sam Houston, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this tale. This was 13 years ago, 14 years ago almost, 13 years ago. And I out loud, without thinking, said, wait a minute, a Virginian is the one who saved Texas? And then I decided to run for office. And I realized that a Virginian would have to come and save Texas yet again.
hmm.
And yet, we got an
Don't,
Oklahoman in your district.
she's not going to win. And if she does, it's pretty. You know what? I'm going to put it out there. One of our former supporters made the statement to you and I because this person, and I won't name him, but this person is personal close friends with Ted Cruz. And they made the statement, it doesn't matter who wins in the primary because the Republican's going to win in 28 regardless. With that being said, we are 1 month away from early voting. There is no signs for my opponent, only these terrible, awful, cheesy commercials. And oh, they're doing, well, my former opponent. And oh,
Former
we're doing,
opponent.
I fixed it. And now they're just going to do a bus cruise with Ted Cruz because they're going to win, gosh darn it, because Ted Cruz said so. I'm telling you right now, this person who does not work the district, this person who does not do anything, who doesn't even have one sign up, is not going to win the district. She's just not going to. And you know what? I'm going to get up on a soapbox. Let's go to a commercial break before I find a soapbox. How about that?
And actually, the
Okay.
commercial break is coming in afterwards. The special program I'm putting out there to help the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's right, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Go into the program and the project that I have implemented. I'm here to help, guys. I'm here to help. I promise. I promise.
Oh, gosh. And we are back. I want to give a huge, huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Montgomery County Tea Party. You have been saving Texas and Montgomery County and the world for the last 10 years. Thank you so much for your hashtag We the People work. You prove that it can totally be done. A huge shout out to our big, huge sponsor, our dear friends over at Skyline Companies. Justin, you're a peach. We couldn't be on the air without you. Thank you so much for your support. If you need anything to do with the trucking and diesel industry in the Houston area or possibly around the state of Texas, make sure you look up Skyland Companies. You can find all their contact information on Facebook. Also, if you're interested in becoming one of our sponsors, or you just enjoy this program and you couldn't live your life without it because we know you can't, make sure you go to TexasFullyLoaded.com and click on that PayPal link, and please send whatever you can from the goodness of your heart. We greatly appreciate it because we're working to serve you better. So thank you. Thank you for helping to make us the number one team, team on TECandTV.com. And also, wait, what was the also?
You
Oh
know,
no, I forgot it. Okay, but we are doing we're doing
just had
cool
a
good
Harry
stuff.
moment.
I just, you know what, Austin, whenever I do that in real life, because it happens on the air and in real life, my 14-year-old looks at me and he goes, "This message was brought to you by Joe Biden." Um, we are actually growing what Texas Fully Loaded is doing. I'm super excited about this, guys. If you allow me just a moment here, I want to take this moment to use this beautiful platform to let you know that the Oil and Gas Workers Association has contracted us to plan an event for them on October 21st. It's going to be at O'Neill's on the Water in the Baytown area. I'm super excited. This is going to be a membership and fundraising drive. Be on the lookout. We're going to be selling tickets soon. I really hope that you guys will consider coming to this amazing event. It's going to help support candidates not just here in Texas, but across the United States. It's also going to help with their membership to get out that we need oil and gas, and we also need the workers, and they should be represented appropriately in elected offices. And also, if you are looking for somebody to help you guys plan your next political event, then contact one of us because we actually know a couple of things. So give us a call. We'd love to help you. Okay.
So, with that being said, that would be the Oil and Gas Workers, of America.
Nope.
That literally would be that the Oil and Gas Workers of America,
Of
OGWA.
association.
It's association, whatever. Anyway, it's all the American oil and gas workers.
Yes.
And this event on the 21st of October is going to be placed in the middle of the petrochemical area of Texas. One of the number one top producing leaders of most of our petrochems, plastics, everything you can think of that has to do with nothing green energy. That's right. The only thing green that it produces is money and safety, which means that other stuff is 9 times out of 10 BS. But anyway, with that being said, the Fredericksburg Tea Party had an event last week. And last week at the Fredericksburg Tea Party, 450 patriots commemorated 13 years of the Tea Party that's been a pain in the White House's side for the longest in Texas. The longest running Tea Party in Texas, Fredericksburg, which happens to be right in the heart, right under the Granite Hills, right there in downtown Gillespie County, just north of San Antonio. So the headwaters of the aquifers, the Edwards Aquifer that comes and feeds everything in South Texas, that's what puts the lifeblood of the waters in. We actually sponsored a table there. Sandra got up and got to ask some pretty interesting questions in front of 450 people of Chip Roy. And that's where Sandra physically stated, we need to have Chip Roy as the Speaker of the House. And the room went crazy. So if you want to piss off Republicans, people, you get yourself together like the Montgomery County Tea Party. You get yourself together like the Fredericksburg Tea Party, and you do exactly what they're putting out. You go in, you piss off your local school boards, you piss off your local commissioners, because it's your money. It's your money. And with that being said, I would like to point out the fact that we did go into the federal overreach that's been going on. Mm-hmm. And with the federal overreach, we're finding the feeble but incompetent, or the Federal Bureau of Instigation has been going around and they've been raiding places. So I was there at a Popeye's Chicken.
Oh no.
And John, you're going to like this because Popeye's Chicken is actually from your former neck of the woods. And in the line was this little old man with a cane. And the feds came in, they boxed him in, and they told him, "Give us your cell phone." Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm giving you the spill. So here, listen. So here's what happened. We all know that Michael and Dell got hit in a Hardee's. So Hardee's drive-through. They took his phone. I have figured out what's going on, guys. Under the Green New
Oh,
Deal, the
hell
Federal
no.
Bureau of Investigation. Exactly. These guys, hang them at January the 6th. They are all prim. They've got six-pack abs. They had short military-style haircuts. They were wearing Daisy Dukes and stuff like that. Guys, I'm telling you right
Tasty
now,
dudes.
the FBI is physically trying to get out of their shell. They want to go back to the days where they can wear a dress like J. Edgar Hoover. So listen, if you can do me a favor and indulge me for a second, I need for everybody that can. It doesn't matter what kind of chicken you like. Go to your local Federal Bureau of Investigation office and drop off a bucket of chicken, a box of chicken, whether it's KFC. Because listen, we all know they raided Donald Trump's safe. I guarantee you they've already got the original recipe. So whether it's Chick-fil-A, whether it's Chicken Express, whether it's Bush's Chicken, whether it's KFC, Hardee's, Churches, whatever the matter, donate a bucket of chicken to a federal agent. They need it.
Miss Patty, grab him by his ear when you see him next time, please.
I don't even know what's happening right now. I don't even know what's happening.
So,
What
okay,
is happening?
if you follow our show on the Facebook page, like we tell you guys all the time, watch it on tecntv.com, watch it on Facebook. On TexasFullyLoaded.com. But you have to follow along for the comments on Facebook because that's where it gets real. Now, Miss Patty is a very dear friend of all of ours. She's the president of the Montgomery County Tea Party. She's been a huge supporter of ours individually,
Best.
and I mean, we love her to pieces. But she is the principal for our show. And a couple weeks ago, y'all are going to have a hard time believing this. We were raw and uncut. It happens. It happens.
It's like
That's
a
who we are.
bad circumcision.
I try
Oh,
to
God.
control these two, but I can't. I do my best to control these two.
Miss Patty literally messaged me, and she
The
said, "I want to
rabbi,
see the three of you in my office right now."
the rabbi said we were raw and uncut. Okay, let's go there.
Oh gosh,
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
I cannot. Follow the Facebook page for the comments. They're great. Okay.
That comment made me uncomfortable, Walter. I cringed a little over here. Please don't do
That's
that.
Oh
okay.
God,
Hey, listen.
I had to stop
So,
myself for a family show.
so you know what though? The fun part about the Fredericksburg Tea Party event, we ran into Pastor Young.
We did. We
We
did.
had a ball.
Did you
He.
tell him?
He
Did
comes
you say
walking
I
in.
own you, boy?
Oh man.
We had so
Li-
much fun with Pastor Young.
yeah, and you
Did you
know
tell
what? It
him?
was
Tell
kind of
him we
funny because
dominated?
he's a great pastor. The whole bit is we're a little bit raw and uncut. We're good Christian people, but we do like to have fun. Sometimes we push the envelope.
I never do.
I was a Baptist, so I'm not even reformed. I'm just going to say it right out there. That
There's
you
my
never know what's in
halo.
the water. Yeah. So here's my halo. That's correct.
But see, like I
Listen,
actually have one. See it? See it? I have to cover
that's
it up
called
when
a
you guys are
tiara.
misbehaving sometimes.
That's called a
Is it
tiara
because I'm a
because you're
queen? A
a
princess?
drama queen.
Am I?
Drama
Oh,
queen.
I thought it was
Yeah.
because I was
So
a
y'all
Yeah.
saw
Try
Pastor
that one for
Young?
your story hour.
yes.
Did you?
So anyway, yeah, Pastor Young,
Get
he
over here!
that's right. Hey, listen, we had some really good fun. Him and his wife were there, and we're cooking up some fun events. Sandra was talking about October 21st out there at the Bayland Marina. If you actually go to Google Maps, I believe if you type in Bacon Bay, and I'm not kidding you, that's where you will actually find O'Neill's on the water at the Bayland Marina. They're building a whole new complex next to it. But at the same time, the same night, and we can't tell you where yet, but Alan West and PJ Prudhomme are coming to Houston, Texas to do the viewing of, that's right, Uncle Tom 2, which is of course, the continuation of the original movie Uncle Tom, a documentary that was put together by our good friend Justin Malone, Justin Malone Productions, and it has Larry Elder, Candace Owens, the whole bit. We are actually physically finally taking it into the populations that need to be watching this of the different flavors of America because everyone wants to make skin color a big thing. Well, why don't we make that true story the true topic and let everyone know that all flavors in America is what makes America great again?
This
Well, we're
is this
honing our
is
skills here at Texas Fully Loaded because we want to get our program together for game night at the re-education camps when they come. That's it.
That's correct.
I have some late breaking announcements to make. Miss Patty has just formally, I'm going to read this verbatim. I hereby invite the show to come to MCTPPAC and film Texas Fully Loaded Unplugged.
Uh-oh, unfiltered too.
No!
That means
Can we
feedback.
play Pin the Tail on the Donkey? That's right.
Yeah, I would
Pin
love
your
that. That would
favorite
be fun.
Republicans.
You know what, Pat, on the air, I'm going to go ahead and do this shout out right now. What we need to do is to have a candidates forum at the Tea Party,
Mhm.
hosted by the Montgomery County Republican Party, also with us emceeing, with Texas Fully Loaded emceeing that. I think it would be a great night. I got Vince Santini coming over here tomorrow. Judge Santini going to be sitting right in one of those red chairs behind me, and we're going to start playing some music so we can have some music. We got a lot of musical talent here. You and I have discussed having this at the Tea Party thing, making this a fun, festive event that attracts people and activists and gives them this relationship, this know, like, and trust camaraderie that we need in order to have an effective movement here in Montgomery County. So I think it starts with you. You've done an amazing job of holding that together. So let's set that up, and I'll be in touch. But we are going to set up a candidate forum date for a candidate forum, and we would love to do that at the Montgomery County Tea Party and just make it a party with music and fun, and let's do it.
We're going to have to do it quick, kids, because 1 month is early voting.
Yeah, October 24th it starts. Yeah, and I'll be 57 by then. I'll turn 57.
You will.
Oh,
I know I'm getting old.
I have your
Times
birthday
57.
on the calendar. I need to find out what's your
I
favorite
don't
cake.
I don't feel a day over 56. So that's
I know what your favorite cookie is. What's your
yeah.
It's going to be a themed party.
Hey, I have lost quite a bit of weight, Sandra. I'm down to my last notch in my belt. My clothes are fitting looser. I want to lose about 25 more pounds, or 40. Just I want to drop another pound or 40, and I'll feel a lot better. So
I think Walter and I are both we have not gone up or down. At least I have not gone up or down, but the problem is I've not gone down. Stop! Stop! I know with our weight. Stop! We're talking about diets here. Hold on a second. Goose fraba.
It's hard for me to keep my mouth shut. This is what got me in trouble in school when I was a kid. I know it probably surprises all of you, but I had a real hard time keeping my mouth shut. And, I knew going to college when I have a degree in criminal justice. They always told me I had the right to remain silent, but I never had the ability, Sandra, and that was my problem. Anyway. And now I do it on a stage in front of thousands of people. And
Isn't it great? At least twice a week.
yeah, I was playing a Christmas party. Well, I don't even want to tell that story. Let me just change the topic. Move on.
Walter, say something. Save the day.
Walter's frozen. Walter's, let it go, Walter. Let it go. Whatever.
Charlotte can come sing.
But hey, my band. Hey, if you guys are looking for a fun time, my band is playing October 9th. It's a Sunday here at Pacific Yard House from 2 to 4. It's a family-friendly event. There's good food there. Come to Pacific Yard House in Conroe. Check out my band from 2 to 4 p.m. Going to have maybe some guest musicians up there with us, which would be a lot of fun. And then October 14th, that night, it's always a big party. We're going to have it back at Pacific Yard House, October 14th. I think that's a Friday. It could be a Saturday. I don't know. But it's going to be just an amazing time. That's 4 days before my birthday. So come celebrate it with us. I'll even drink a margarita with you. Y'all want to see me get liquored up and on a microphone in front of a room full of people?
Yes.
And it gets really obnoxious. It's a good time. So come on out October 14th that night, and let's just celebrate with me, have a party. Let's have a good time.
Walter?
Walter's back. He's looking contemplative or constipated. I can't tell which sometimes with him.
I could be a little.
Sandra?
Okay,
Sandra, so what is going on in Laredo? Tell us about your neck of woods, because there's a lot going on in Montgomery County, but I'd like to hear about what's happening in the border area besides you guys getting overrun from the south. I did see
Well,
those Venezuelans are suing. Did you see some of the Democrats got some of these Venezuelans to file suit against Ron DeSantis, saying they were tricked into signing the consent form and promised that they would be given a job and food and shelter by going to Martha's Vineyard. Apparently, sanctuary city doesn't mean sanctuary city. It just means it for the newscast where you can virtue signal from afar. Because when they got there, they found out that they were unceremoniously loaded onto cars and taken to a military base. I think it's a really sad statement, Sandra, that the response time to Martha Vineyard was much better than that of Benghazi, and that really bothers me.
no, you know what? It should. And I think that that shows all the power where it sits. I mean, it's fine for us schmucks on the border to have to deal with this problem, but if anybody else has to deal with it, then by golly, let's end it now. We see that we see that happening in DC. We see that happening in Martha's Vineyard. We see that happening in Chicago. Everyone is talk until they have to actually deal with it. And, I think that it's putting some perspective. Anytime Walter and I bring anybody down here to the border, we see where people are going, you know what? We see it on TV, we hear about it, but it's not, it's way worse in person.
Mm. Well, I feel a shift in the country coming. I think people are damn tired of what's been happening. We're watching the rhinos in their death rattle all across the United States. Right here in Montgomery County, we're fighting it. Oh, it's unbelievable. Um, but it's a good thing because I call this group that stands by and does nothing and just complains the coward caucus. And we need to shrink the coward caucus. We need to embolden these people, and that's why I think the event at the Tea Party would really help people out because some people don't act just because they don't know what to do. It's an analysis paralysis thing. They got so many things coming at you, you don't know what to do.
Hmm.
So what I've tried to do here in Montgomery County is when there's something to be done, when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, did you see this thing? We really need to do something about it." I say, "What are you going to do about it? What do you have in mind?" And I empower them to do it. And then we have another warrior in the fight, and we get people to support them. And then we go get more. And we're building an army here that way, and it's been really good. We need to have that movement all across Texas, and we just haven't had it right now. And there's too many people in the coward caucus that just want to stand by and say, "Hey, y'all get along." And right now, I'm having a little bit of an issue with the Republican Party of Texas, to be honest with you, because I know they don't want to get embroiled in a battle across 254 counties with these rhinos, but damn it, you have to if you want to save the party. And their attitude, Walter, and you know this, you were on the SREC for quite a while, but their attitude is, "Hey, you counties work it out. Just sue whoever's, if you have a rogue county chair, just sue them." Well, you can't do that because every legal person I've talked to, and people in the know, they say you can't do that until you exhaust all the options in your rules. And so we're in this untenable situation here in Montgomery County where we're trying to enforce Republican Party of Texas rules that the Republican Party of Texas won't enforce. And we can't go to a magistrate and say, "Hey, make them follow the rules," because you haven't exhausted all the avenues within your own rules, so you can't do anything. So it's frustrating right now. But the good news is we have majority control of the party, and we got to do what we got to do, and we're not going to let some rogue chairman run over and destroy the party. We'll do what we have to do. But I think the Republican Party of Texas is making a huge mistake not taking a real decisive stand in this against a rogue chair. And I think they're just going to make more rogue chairs. What do you think, Walter?
So, and while y'all are pixelated, your sound finally came back. It was at a very good moment. What you need to realize that right now, all throughout the state of Texas, we have got rogue chairs that are performing the same stupidity for their own personal gain or for the gain of their candidate or the gain of their whatever their program is. We have Eagle Pass finally got a hold of their chairmanship after actually a federal agent of the Tony Gonzalez campaign / and official office was in charge of their party's funds, everything else. So in direct violation of the Hatch Act, you have somebody that was hailed as a hero all across Texas, and kid to federal agents, the whole bit, and working for Tony Gonzalez, and he's been running their party into the ground so that Tony Gonzalez could get his own person in there. Look at the fact that you've got stuff going on up in North Texas No one's talking about the Kaufman County chairman. You know, the one that came in overnight, took all the money and ran. Crickets on all that. Right now, you're seeing that, and I love the fact that the Montgomery County Republican Party has set up their bylaws that your chairman, the last time he was elected, prior to that election, this election obviously was in this past year, 2022. He's been enforcing those bylaws, and then all of a sudden went back to the stupid days of Wally Wilkerson, where we're not a part of this, we're not a part of that. Bottom line is, you have the old establishment 1980 Republicans thinking that they're coming back whenever we are literally at a war with communism right now. And nobody is recognizing this. And the people that are recognizing this are walking away from both parties. And no one's got a place for them to go. And the bottom line is going to be, whenever those people finally get together in the same arena, they're going to slaughter the Republicans and they're going to slaughter the Democrats. And that's how we're going to win this country back.
Go
So,
ahead, Sandra.
so I want to, John, you were asking kind of specifically about what's happening down here in Webb County, and out of respect for not wanting to interfere and just staying out of the way of my former opponent, I have kind of backed off a little bit. I'm still involved. I'm still involved with what's going on. People come to me and they're like, "Hey, this is what's happening. Can you give us some guidance on this, X, Y, and Z?" And I really wasn't going to say anything, but it needs to be talked about. We air what's happening in Montgomery County, so let's air what's happening in Webb County. What's happening is we're seeing where, the different factions of Republicans are trying to come together so that we can have a big red win here in Webb County, which is great. I think it's fantastic. Good for them for finally wanting to do the right thing. Now, here's where the problem is that the alleged current secretary, and I'm saying that only because I've heard it from multiple people who I've worked with for the last 4 years, so I don't doubt their word, but here's what I've been told. The new secretary is a bit of a radical. Half the time, this person doesn't, they kind of play both sides of the gender card in terms of who they're sleeping with and how. They insist on making sure that everybody knows that. She's for abortion. I'm sorry, this person is for abortion. This person is for making sure that kids are sexualized in school, because this person thinks that this should be something that's normalized and talked about. This is the
Public
type
school
of
teacher.
a public school teacher, in fact. This is some of the stuff that we're starting to see. Now, here's the problem, and don't get me wrong, we're supposed to be, we should be convincing people to vote Republican for the right reasons. And the problem, though, is that we should not be putting people in leadership of the parties who think that sexualizing children is okay, who thinks that you should be super public about what's happening in your bedroom, who thinks that you should be using pronouns instead of he and she, and recognizing people as people. I have a real problem with that, and I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. We have big elections coming up. They don't really care about all Republicans. They just want some Republicans. I've heard that they're shunning out people who have traditionally voted Democrat because they're angry at them for doing the traditional thing here, which is wanting to still vote on their local election stuff because they haven't been able to produce a Republican candidate in local stuff. So there's actually quite a bit of drama that's happening down here, and it's frustrating to see. I saw an article, and in fact, it was one we were supposed to talk about yesterday on the air. And so I just want to summarize it really quick. As you guys know, we have Hispanic women, Latinas, the Latina trio or whatever they're calling themselves these days, that are running down here along the border. But the problem is that they're not running along the border. They're playing games along the border. Cassie, for example's strategy is to win Bexar County and Guadalupe County. But she has a couple of field agents down here, and she's not really putting in the time and effort that's necessary to truly target the Hispanics. They're targeting the Hispanics by commercials. And I'm sure mailers will be coming in sooner than later. Cuellar's already started sending in his mailers. Cuellar gets to have the upper hand, if you will, as the elected official. And all of us, I've been a resident here for 13 and a half years now, almost 14 years. I have never seen the number of mailers from Henry Cuellar's official office, not candidate Cuellar, Representative Cuellar, and I think that that's impressive. Now he's actually kind of dipping into his funds when he thinks that Kevin McCarthy and Ted Cruz are after him. I'm curious as to why his best
I,
friend John Cornyn hasn't been publicly speaking out for him the way that he did 2 years ago. So there's a lot of just this is South Texas is a political cesspool because everybody just says the word Latina, Hispanic, and Latino and feel like they're targeting and they're going to get that vote. You know what? At this point, the Hispanics and Latinas and Latinos are getting so sick and tired of this BS game, and they're sick and tired of their names and their culture being used as a political pawn. When I was running, I never went after a demographic. I went after people, and that's where the RNC and the DNC is failing, and I wish that both sides would lose. How's that?
so so it's funny you say that because this comes around to what Tony Gonzalez and then his Democrat buddy are doing as they bounce back and forth. However, a former Republican, Frank Lopez Jr., former Border Patrol agent that was born in McAllen, raised in El Paso, and did his duty service in Del Rio. He's the one running against Tony Gonzalez. He was former SREC, former Valverde County chairman, and he jumped in the race as an independent because he needed that extra time to go against Kevin McCarthy's money, which was to do nothing more, and Greg Abbott's money, which was to do nothing more than to tear down the vote of Bexar County. And they left Bexar County as the strength of Congressional District number 23, even though it's over 600 miles wide between El Paso and all the way over to Bexar County, to San Antonio. So just think about that. And that is a district that has the most amount of borderlands. That is a congressman who has voted against marriage. He has voted for the transgender crap. He has voted for the stuff that he's put in against juveniles. Mind you, all of this stuff right here allows pedophiles to walk perfect in our system. And I'm not going to say he's a pedophile or not, but I'm not going to say he's not. But anyway, bottom line is you have people like Frank Lopez Jr. who first started catching a lot of flack. Why are you doing this as a Republican? Now he's got more steam running behind him. He's got more people coming in behind him. And by George, if these political slaves, the people in the Republican Party that keep voting for the same people over and over again because we have to, I'm telling you right now, we could have won 7 new seats in Texas had the Republican Party and the RNC got their stuff together. The RNC wants Texas. This is a federalized deal. This is an upper echelon deal. All they want to do is put the races and the genders out there so that the Republicans across the nation that don't care what gender and what race you are, you throw the word Hispanic up in front of people, they throw in millions of dollars. And those millions of dollars come here and they hurt what Texans actually want. Texans don't want a diverse, they don't want a diverse economy because we've split it up that way. They want a diverse economy because we've come together that way, not because of how we separate everything. And the Republicans are playing the same race card that the Democrats played back in the 1800s and 1900s. And the movie Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom 2 goes over all of that.
You know, in the last 2 minutes here, I do want to make this statement, and you guys give me your opinion on this. Make sure you put that in the comments. So you ready? People who are politically involved are the racists. People who have no idea or maybe don't even show up to vote, they still love colorblind. It's only people who are involved politically, and it's typically people on the left who are throwing out this BS propaganda. But when you have people who are playing the Kevin McCarthy games, they are also throwing out this racist BS propaganda, but they're trying to do it good-natured. What are your opinions on that?
I think it's well. I mean, when you can be
1
careful
minute.
when you say people involved in the political world are racist. I mean, that's an overgeneralization for sure. I don't give a damn what color your skin is, and I don't care what you say. I care what you do, and because that's the problem. A lot of people's actions do not match their words, and as soon as we can reconcile those two things across this country, we'll be a lot better off.
So, and I'll end mine with this right here. People say, wow, everything you do is too political. So with me, sex trafficking and labor trafficking is too political. Yet it affects 100% of the American taxpayer. It affects 100% of the people that we've sent corrupt money to into those foreign countries. It's the reason why we have the issue we have now. And the sad part is I have more Democrats that call me and that want to help with the problem to fix it than Republicans who want to use it as a talking point. And Republicans don't know how to message.
Guys, we're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow. Love ya. Bye, y'all.
Everything's so bright.